Okay guys, we are halfway through 2026 more or less, and I thought I wanted to give you my top 10 games of the year so far. And what is my game of the year so far this year? Let's check it out. At number 10 I've got High on Life 2. This one I was slightly disappointed by as a kind of sequel that I really enjoyed the first game. Just didn't quite get a lot of stuff right. If you watch my review you'll understand what I'm kind of saying. Just a little bit all over the place. The graphics have been improved, very nice, but it led to it not running very great, and the whole mobility with the whole skateboard thing didn't quite work to get across the different levels and things like that. Some of the level designs didn't quite work for me, and the humour just didn't sit this time as well either, so that one did fall at number 10. At number 9, we've got Toxic Commando, John Carpenter's Toxic Commandos, I should say. I had a fun time with this one. It was, I would say this is the first good game of the year we've got to in this top 10, in my opinion. Pretty standard zombie killer, very kind of cheesy action, almost like 80s, 90s action Hollywood movie put on the video game screen, but the survival aspects of each level actually brought a little bit more than that and made it kind of a good game for me and a fun time. And the gunplay and mowing down zombies, you've got to get that right first, and they definitely do that here. And number 8 is Mixtape for me. This is the weirdest game I've played so far this year, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that as in, it is, I said it in my review, more a piece of art rather than a video game in my opinion, and so it's hard to judge as a video game. I think I gave this one a 7 if I'm not mistaken. It falls in my 8th position so far this year. Will it make it into my top 10 by the end of the year? Probably not, but I guess I just didn't click with a lot of what it was trying to go for. I haven't lived in America, I didn't grow up in the 80s, which is what a lot of this is pulling on. I grew up in the UK, in a completely different environment, so only a few things hit me in this story, which is what it's really trying to do, and it combines that with the gameplay to do exactly that. But just the gameplay, the mechanics that were in there, I still really enjoyed, and I rate the game. It's a good time. You should definitely check it out. And then at number 7 for me, we have Star Fox, of course, the remake from Nintendo of the original Star Fox 64. I never played the original Star Fox, so I was looking forward to this one to trying it out. I knew that it was a very short game going into it, so I accepted that, that's fine, and I wasn't judging it based on that at all. What was there, I really enjoyed. I'm not an arcade gamer. I don't like replaying levels and over again, which is why I don't like roguelites likes. But in this case, I did still replay the whole campaign. It takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I replayed it a couple of times just to see some of the different scenarios, because I did enjoy the characters, the gameplay, the graphics that much. And I really did enjoy it. It came in at my number 7 in the end. Will it make my top 10? Probably not at the end of the year, but I would say I was very satisfied with this game. I'm glad it came out and they did this. And then at number 6 we have Shogunners, probably my biggest surprise entry of the year really so far, an indie game. Basically top-down tactical kind of shooter, really XCOM style, where almost like combines Cyberpunk 2077 with the likes of Hunger Games, where you're going into a competition where you have to kill the other opponents and you have to win over fans and whatnot. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a really fresh take on the genre. Really enjoyed what they were going for. There was actually a decent bit of story there, and the characters were really fun. Yeah, really enjoyed this one, and I kind of hope this one almost makes it maybe somewhere at my number 9 or 10 by the end of the year. I don't know that it will, because there's still so many games I'm excited for this year, but I definitely recommend Shogunners. Please do check it out. All these smaller games do need a lot of praise. And now we get into the top 5. My number 5 is Pragmata. This one I wasn't sure if I'd be into at the start of the year. It wasn't top of my list to check out. Certainly for first half of the year, I was looking forward to it. But Hugh and Diana, I thought I'd get annoyed by Dana. I just completely lost myself in this story and journey with them, and the gameplay with the whole targeting mechanisms and things in the robots to bring them down. So fun, really enjoyed it. Great sci-fi show, and again by Capcom, we're just nailing it at the moment, and they'll show up again in this top 10. Don't worry about that. I definitely recommend Pragmata. My number 5. And my number 4, the latest entry for me. I've only just sort of completed the game, and I don't like to review games unless I've beaten them. And number 4 is Forza Horizon 6. I've given so much praise about these games, the best driving games out there in my opinion. Nobody does it better. There's not much more I can say about it really. This one came in just under at a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10 that Forza 5 was for me, Forza Horizon 5. You can watch my review as to why, but this one sits in here quite easily. It wouldn't surprise me if it's lower end of my top 10 by the end of the year. But I completely understand if it would be higher on yours by the end of the year. They are amazing games. And number 3 for me, it's Resident Evil Requiem. I really thought that by halfway point in the year after I played this game, this one would be still at my number 1, but we've got 2 more to come and you'll see what they are and maybe why. But Resident Evil Requiem, my 3rd Resident Evil game I think I've played. I've played 2 and I want to say 5 I think it was back in the day, and maybe even a little bit of one of the other games. I'll have to go back and have a think about which it was, but they just nailed it, bringing back Leon. The new character for the stealth segments was nice. Quite interesting to find out about a new character alongside Leon, who's fun to go back to for the action. I thought they blended the stealth and action really quite well. There was only a small section in the middle where I just don't think it worked a little bit and just dragged a bit, but some amazing moments in this game that I'll never forget, and honestly, top tier. These top 3 now are, so far this year, games that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I could probably sort of exchange the 3 of them if I really wanted to, because I do love them. At number 2, we've got 007 First Light. We all wondered, would they be able to nail this game? Would they be able to nail a 007 game? We haven't had one in years, and 007 First Light, they absolutely nailed this game. And you'd be hard pressed to find, I think, a better Bond experience, and for them to have done it any better. I mean, I did give this game a 9 out of 10. I had my criticisms, but it's just a real fun time. Doesn't drag on. Perfect fun levels. And it wouldn't surprise me if I revisit this one by the end of the year, much like Resident Evil Requiem in a way. So yeah, it belongs at my number 2. It just beat out Resident Evil Requiem for me. Just maybe it clicked with me more. I'm not necessarily as much of a horror person. I like my action games and things like that, and shooters. So, and I love James Bond in general. I'm British, you know. And then we finally come to our number 1 of the year so far for 2026 for me, and that is Mina the Hollower, and a great indie game. And again, from the makers of Shovel Knight, everybody expected that this would be great. This is never ever my kind of game. I'm not that bothered about the vintage looks of games, like going back to this whole Game Boy style. My first handheld was Game Boy Advance. I love the nostalgia of it. It's cool, but it's not something I look for in my games. I like the big flashy First Lights and Resident Evils, and yet it just clicked with me at the right time. The gameplay for a vintage looking game per se, it really just, it was so addictive and fun, that the cycle of going to these different sections and of the map and making sure that I get these generators going again, and then the twists and turns in the story. Mina herself, very cute character, but also very feisty. Some of these little random creatures that you meet, and they've got their own backstories and side stories. What a great little sort of top-down RPG, as it were, and it just took me so off guard, and I'm in love with this game. It was my first 10 out of 10 of the year. Maybe it'll be my only one by the end of the year. I doubt it, but it's got to be at the top of the list for me, and I'm really happy with it being at my number 1. So yeah, shout out to Mina the Hollower as my game of the year so far for 2026. What is your game of the year and your top 10? I'm really interested to know. I'm going to do another video very soon, about the games I've played that didn't make this list and why, and maybe why I didn't beat them. And also I'm going to do a top 10 on the games that I'm kind of looking forward to for the rest of the year. So my top 10 most anticipated. But other than that, guys, we'll see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you for now. Happy gaming.